Hello, hi, friends and relatives. Welcome back to The Glorious Mess, the place where we are so fucking stressed, but equally blessed.
Are we?
I don't know. Like, in what sense?
Are you more stressed or more blessed right now?
I guess it would depend who you ask.
Yeah, like right now.
So you're asking me?
Yes.
I am more... Can I want to fuse the words. I don't want to answer the question.
Fuse them. Don't answer. That's a good answer.
I think I feel blessed in a sense, but the amount of the blessings makes me feel stressed.
Okay.
So I am grateful.
Yes.
But then am I actually like grateful? Because I'm like,
yes.
But in the sense that like, I'm like, do I feel like I have to be grateful because somebody else who had a Jonas Brother movie come out last week would be like, well, I didn't get that opportunity, so you should be grateful. And then, when people put pressure on you.
Or it's always like things could be worse, so I should be. But I don't like that.
Me neither.
I don't really like that. Yeah.
And are you stressed or blessed?
I think I'm like just more stressed right now, just because I'm doing a lot of work, and my days are filled with work. So I think like I need to sleep a bit more. And
the seasonal affective disorder of the season, the clock's going back. Like, whose idea was that? Why do the clocks go back?
I don't know. I've tried to find out. People have said it's because of farmers, but I don't know if that's actually true. So I don't know.
Ask Google AI. It's always right.
It's always right. It's always
right. Well, I'm excited to be back. We're on episode 4. Of course, we're continuing this journey of storytelling as a place to reclaim our stories. Is this healing for you?
This is healing for me. Actually, it is.
Yeah. And for our listeners hearing and seeing us reflect, we hope that this is also an opportunity for you to reflect and take the bits that you enjoy from what we say and cut out the shit you don't like, because that's what we do.
Exactly.
Even with my therapist, like, you ever get your therapist be like, "Yeah, what do you think about this?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not."
Yes.
Well, with that, let's see what journey we're taking today.
Let's do it.
You put a lid on it.
There was a lid on it before. I had just taken it off beforehand. I didn't do that work.
Really
this
strong.
time.
Also, I was gonna say as we open this jar. Okay.
Oh,
where are we going today? We need to put like a music in the... Is that one sentence? Okay. I'm scared when it's long because you never know where we're going to go. Okay.
Let me see.
I have no clue. It says Edward Bernays.
Oh, that's okay. I know who that is. Okay. And mine says Men's Obsession with Us. I think I can see a way to tie them together already. Why are they so obsessed with us?
Why are they so obsessed with us? Okay. And as a disclaimer before we go in, like, this is not ego.
No, it's not.
There is an obsession, especially in your life. No, but even in mine with the Calgary.
It's true, yeah. It's true. And like I think we can tie it into just like the patriarchy, because we always can.
Always come back to the patriarchy.
And maybe just emotional
Go.
An emotional awareness. Something like that.
Okay, let's go then. Who the hell is Edward
Bernays? Okay, so Edward Bernays is somebody who he was in marketing, and like I think at the end of his life or later in his life, he said that he regretted some of the things he had done, because marketing is so powerful, and so it can be used, for bad, essentially. And so especially when you're talking about like advertising cigarettes. So I think one of his jobs was that he was asked to get women to smoke more. Kind of, so you can see how like you can manipulate people and their perception of whatever to smoke more. But another one that I think he was well known for was, like the cake mixes.
Like the
Betty Crocker boxes? Yeah.
That's how I don't know how to bake if I don't do that.
And so when these were introduced, essentially, like we're talking several decades ago when being a housewife was like, I guess, more of the ideal or norm or whatever, and that involved baking. But then when you're given a mix, the women are like, oh, but like, am I really baking this? Can I say I made this? And that pride was really tied to that identity, right? And so I guess they figured out that like, oh, if you have to add an egg, then it gives you more of that feeling of I made this. You have to add one or two things, because I think you could make like powdered egg, right? But if you have to add an egg and oil and whatever, like three ingredients, then you can kind of feel safer saying, "Oh, I made this," and then so you're going to sell more. So it's really looking into like how to manipulate our psychology.
Well, and maybe this is going like too deep unnecessarily and not a fully formulated thought, but one of my professors this week at McGill was talking about like when she was working in her home country, that the women used to go and fetch the water and get vegetables off the land, and there was a lot more agency in that experience because the men in the household also did. They were both working and they both had this equal economic relationship. And then now in the present, because of this colonial force and way of living is enforced, then the women in the scenario, the men got to go to work. And then the women at home were stuck at home to do household tasks. Right. And that became the thing. And then I wonder if there's like a connection then when we start to see the early development of like the DSM, what does it stand for? The Diagnostic
and Statistical Manual?
Yeah, the thing that like psychiatrists use to diagnose if you're crazy or not. Sorry, that's not strength-based language, but a person with crazy, not crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't cancel me.
A person with crazy.
But like this is this thing. And so when you get early women experiences with like psychiatry, it's like getting misdiagnosed with mania. But then I wonder if there's a connection between like
or hysteria.
Yeah, exactly. Is there a connection between like this role that they were equal contributors being robbed from them, and then this is what's left, and to then still make them like a viable economic part of the like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. And I feel like there's so many parts to it. Like you're kind of talking about, okay, so I don't know what country your professor, like what her home country is.
I can't remember the name of it, but she's Palestinian.
Okay.
Yeah. She is Palestinian. I just don't remember which like tribe she's attributed to. So.
Okay. I feel like because this probably happened, I mean, at some point before we had all this agricultural technology as well, that we were doing more physical work to get what we needed, which probably felt in some ways nice, like I still like to go outside and do something. Like it feels good to plant move. Or garden exactly, and to be outside. But then I don't know, like there's probably a big long journey between that and like the housewife and psychology and psychiatry. But I do know that, I mean, just women in general have been if they have emotions about things, historically, they have been called hysterical. Yeah. And, I think there's like etymology in the name hysterical to like hysterectomy to, like, biological, like, nomenclature.
Yeah. I know biological stuff.
Nomenclature,
yeah.
So,
wait, that's a real word?
Nomenclature?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like making it
naming.
up.
No, it's a real word.
I thought you were like, no, I was like, oh, okay, work, yeah, go on.
I'm just gonna make up this, like.
Nobody's fact checking us. No.
Exactly. So that's Edward Bernays. He probably profited off of a lot of these ideas you're talking about.
Okay.
Of women and just like the internalized stress they would have about satisfying the roles that are expected of them, for sure. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so in his last days, you had said that he regrets a lot of what he did. They see that's, and
look it up.
I was going to say, while you look that up, I think, and tying it into the other half of this
exactly.
thing of men's obsession with us is like the accountability factor. that many of the men in our lives have not taken that Edward takes. So
honestly, that's kind of hot, right? He was what, like maybe in his, let's see, he died in 1995 at the age of 103. So I don't know how old he was when he decided to become a little bit accountable.
Yeah. At 100.
At 100,
I think if you make it to triple digit, you're like, I've seen,
like, I should probably think about something.
And there's like a level of grief. I feel like if you live to 103, like you've seen so much death.
So much.
And so much change.
True.
Because he died, when did you say 1995?
95.
So yeah, you're getting like technological age, pre-internet age.
Yes.
Imagine how he would have felt if the internet age was there.
I mean, it was just coming out when he died, yeah.
True, so
but not like
fully fleshed out.
Yeah, exactly.
But computers were around.
Computers
were
around. Yes, we had computers in the 90s.
Okay. I didn't.
Okay, so
you were poor. What did you learn? Don't give me a Google AI overview. I'll cry.
No, I think I'm taking too long to like go through all of this.
You're like, I want to know exactly and have a detailed account.
Okay, but this is interesting. So it does sort of tie his job and what he did to propaganda.
Okay.
So like you can kind of see the link to like, oh, where does advertising become propaganda? Mm-hmm. So there's that question.
And we did talk about that before. There was an article. And it's going to suck. I'm going to say this and confess this live. It's still in my flagged email. But the headline is How the Internet Created the Far Right. Now, I cannot elaborate on that anymore because I'm not going to be irresponsible and say I read it. But it's definitely been making my brain think like, yeah, it's something I've talked about before. Like how these echo chambers online, how marketing further perpetuates the worst parts of ourselves.
And techniques of marketing too, because I think those techniques are used in a lot of things like fascism, cults, abusive relationships.
Okay, fascism, like everyone, it is the buzzword of the century.
Yes.
Of the century.
Of the century.
But I was looking into like some comment sections, and actually how would you put fascism simply? Would you even want to try it?
That's the thing. Is it responsible to make it simple?
Because it's not that simple.
It's not that simple, but I think it is maybe a set of things that like people who've studied these things can probably name and list a bit more clearly than I can. I think what I've been reading is like when your democracy, like your constitution is not being upheld and like kept in check, I think that's one aspect of it.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I think somebody who knows more about it could tell you it's like maybe these 3 things or 4 things that, and it probably happens gradually.
Well, hopefully a fascist expert is listening to the podcast.
Yes.
But the reason why I say it though is just like, I think sometimes that's the thing, like, people who are, again, on the maybe far right are just like, we use words to fight against it, saying the rise of fascism. But I sometimes think, and on the left too, I just don't think people understand. I don't think I even understand fully what fascism is.
True.
So it becomes like almost, it disables the progress of the movement in a sense, because these aren't plain language words that the average person can do, where it's like talking about like your essential rights are being lost. Bam. But then people are like, fascism is rising, and I'm like, does everyone know? Do we all agree even?
I think part of fascism rising is being kind of blind to fascism rising around you. I think that's kind of a historical like known entity quantity, because it's like it's that gradual getting used to things that if you had said 10 years ago would be considered crazy. I don't know if any discussion or any words will help anybody get out of fascism. I don't know.
I think the number one thing for any type of like lack of rights and an increasing loss of rights in your existence is about like people being able to be empowered and push back and advocate. And I think anytime you touch the mental health system, the health system in general, maybe jail, even our school system, like you're really, everything you're conditioned around in your life, you're never actually fully empowered. sorry, that's a broad statement. You know what I mean? Like
sure.
it creates the conditions that you must rely on something else to get your needs met rather than finding them in yourself.
Right. And
That's
what like also maybe like rather like this is why it is good to question authority from a young age and be like, is that decision by this authority figure, is this a good decision? They don't get to have the benefit of the doubt or to be right just because they're an authority figure. And there is a lot of that across systems for sure. Like this system is an authoritative system. We must listen. They're always right, you know? But like, I think there also has to be intertwined like respect and like, I guess, understanding that the rights you have are because of people before you and because this other institution, I guess, which we are supposed to respect, has to uphold it. Yeah. But that requires like people to do that. It's not just a thing that happens because it's there, because there are people who will change it or disrespect it, which is pretty easy at the end of the day, because you can just go, oh, well, I have this position of power and just like, no, I'm not going to do it. Yeah. And like, it's that easy, you know? So I think there's like also like when you're saying being empowered is also like making sure these things are upheld. Like that's a responsibility as a citizen, and but it should be something that's within you, like you were saying.
When that's, I wonder, I'm curious in your own life, like how are ways like in medical spaces even, like how do you get, and maybe I can share after too on like foster care and stuff. How did you get your power back? How have you been?
I feel like what's happened is I've only realized my power fully when I've been confronted with it being taken away very acutely, like in like a very obvious way. Like if a doctor says something to me, I'm like, I need this. Like this doctor who I was like, I need this renewed, not this. And they were like, well, I'll give you this and not this. I'm like, that's the opposite of what I just said. And there's no way around, like for me to justify it. Yeah. And then I think I was like, oh, in these moments, I've been so scared to speak up when I wasn't as sure, even though I might have been right. So I think like I've gotten my power back or developed it by losing it and seeing so clearly like, oh, the consequences of this person not like making sense. Yeah. And for no good reason is like, I don't get care I need. And that applies to all of these systems.
When that's, I think to a mind, like when I think of like first time going into care, it's like, social worker comes, mom's going to treatment. I remember asking like, can't I stay with my aunts and uncles? Like uncle, plural, singular. Can't I stay with them? And they're like, oh no, they're not safe for you to stay with, right? And so that was, I think, one of the earliest memories I have of like, oh, this person who's a stranger. I think I had met this social worker a few times, but like I didn't have a clear picture of like why this was happening to me. And then what that started to create, I think, was like a distrust of myself, that I don't know what is safe or best for me. Right. And so then as I get older, I go through this phase of like, no, fuck that. And anger, righteous anger. And then as that anger, I think, starts to grow, then when the anger comes out, I start to doubt my advocacy. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. On the other end. So young kid, don't say anything. Right. Accept it. Developed a lack of security around making decisions for my own life. Yeah. Then start to just get frustrated with that continuing to be.
Which is valid. That's a very, very valid frustration, like way for frustration or reason for frustration.
To come, exactly. And so then it's like, then you've got this anger, but then the anger comes out and then you're like, oh, I don't trust myself enough, but I know this anger needs to come out. Yes. But now I think what I'm doing, then other people will be like, oh, you're too much. Oh, right. And so then you keep getting policed by how you show up. And I think that's why in my 30s, my empoweredness is like, fuck it, I'm just going to say whatever comes to my mind and we can pick up the pieces after. Yeah. Like,
well, because that's the only way to do it. Because basically you are. It's like when you're not saying anything, everything is a lot more peaceful and smooth. My doctor's appointments were great when I had no problems. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And then you start speaking up and other people get uncomfortable, even if you're saying something that makes perfect sense sometimes. Yeah, yeah. And then, like you're saying, then you start to question yourself again because you're trying something new, you know? And, like, I agree. I've gotten to the point too where like I've gotten so angry or frustrated with what do I do? What's the right thing to do? And I've realized, I don't know if there is a right thing. So you're just going to do what you want. And none of us are perfect. None of us are going to get it right all of the time. And I don't think there's like a magic combination of words that will be successful every time either. So you kind of have to
meet people in the messy middle. And that's
or be messy.
Or just be a glorious mess. That's the point. That's the end of the episode.
And that's why men are obsessed with it.
That's what a transition. But maybe like last closing point about this, like I watched the Wicked movie last night and I was like, it gets to this with no spoilers, everyone listening, but like it gets to the point where like, you know, she's like, in order for you to be good, I have to be wicked. So don't try and retell who I am to them. And they really wrestle through like, it doesn't matter if we tell people the truth anymore. If enough people agree it to be true, it's going to be true. And so we've always got this like, there was a friend conflict with some of my peers a week and a half ago that was quite dramatic. And it was like, both parties were like, she's the problem, I'm the victim. And both people need to be the perfect victim and the other has to be the perfect enemy. And it's like, actually, you're both fucking trash.
Right. But sometimes, too, both people can be right.
Yeah. You are both right.
Yeah. Or, like, both people can be very wrong. Like, it's not black and white.
Yeah. And that's why I'm like, I hope, and these men and all that. But I wish there was more spaces. Like I brought the dilemmas game. I brought it, but we're not going to play it because it's too complicated. But I wish we just sat in the dilemma a little bit more. I just
100%.
wish we spent more time in the dilemma.
Yeah.
And speaking of dilemmas, men being
obsessed. Okay, so I think like. Okay, let's see. How can we kind of so Edward Bernays was obviously obsessed with women because he was trying to get them to smoke and he was trying to get us to buy cake mix. Yeah, money. Yeah. Okay.
But empowering cake mix because you added an egg.
Yeah, exactly. He was a feminist, actually.
And then these people in our lives, I remember this well because I had a person in my life who we had cut ties, but then still would watch my stories. And now, like, I admit, should I be looking at my stories and who's watching?
We all do. We all do. We all do.
Some people say they don't, but I'm like,
no.
You should do.
Also, we all do.
We all do. So when I would look, I would see his thing. And then like, there was a time where he had, like, followed me again. But I was, like, clear, like, this is not we do not have a future together. And yet here you still are. But in this like insidious ways where it's like, I can track you, bitch. I know. But it's like in those moments, there's also like a hurt part of it where it's like, I just wish you would just talk to me.
Right.
Like,
right.
I remember that particular person had sent me a song one time and it was like Olivia Dean, like, talk to me. Talk to me. And I was like, oh, you want to talk. And then when I was like, hey, did you send this on accident? They were like,
right.
Oh yeah, I was just trying the new Spotify message feature and sending something to a friend, so I just clicked it to you. It's a good song, right? And I'm like,
right. But also, like, I've done stuff like that too. So it's like, I know that that's not true.
I'm like, but it's like I opened the door to communicate, like just as Olivia Dean in Man I Need sings, talk to me. Be the man I need. Be the person I need. And that person is just to show up and have a human conversation.
Right.
It doesn't have to have all these expectations, but like, bitch, and stop. I mean, at least my stories are showing how successful I am. So, I mean, there's an ego in it, of course. And I look good.
You do.
Even before we started this day, I had to check and make sure I still look good on this camera.
Look good.
but
and that's why men are obsessed with you.
But it doesn't actually, in my soul, in my mind, I rationalize it and I can like justify it by having these ego-driven stories, which are not bad things necessarily. They get us through, but I'm like, my soul doesn't feel good about that.
Right, yeah, exactly. And like, I think in my case, like, what was happening is just like, let's say, in my past when I was younger, I was more concerned with, let's say, getting this certain man's attention, whoever it was at the time, and very much like focusing on their approval and all this stuff. And then through time, I was like, wait, why? And then I kind of moved away from it. But the men will come back. They always seem to come back.
Dude, yours are crazy. We're not saying crazy. Yours are people with crazy.
But like at the same time, I'm almost like baffled because I'm just like, this isn't even about me. Like, it's not about me, who I am.
Yours don't even, like, they will keep the conversation going with themselves.
Literally.
That's,
yeah.
I've seen the receipts.
Literally. And, like, it's, I think there's, in one case, I think it's, like, a real enjoyment of the pining, which I also have been guilty of in the past. But at some point, too, I'm just like, okay, I can't do that anymore. Something knocks me out of it, you know? I don't romanticize it as much, but like, I think at this point, it's genuinely a bit confusing because I'm just like, I don't even understand the fun of that anymore. And also, but again, I'm like, this isn't even about who I am because I can say things. I'll say things over and over saying exactly what I mean.
It doesn't register.
It doesn't register, and it's outside of that person's narrative. And so they're like, no, I continue as I have been.
When even as I say, like when it's like you don't follow up 6 hours later or an hour later, it's like they're sending another message. And then what I thought was interesting about one message I think you got, if I remember correctly, it was like, why are you the problem? Like there was something around like, you are the problem. Why don't you just admit?
Oh, yeah. Why don't you just admit to yourself how you feel or something? I was like,
I literally just ignored you.
But also literally, like, I know I've said it several times. And I've like, my behavior has followed suit, you know? And it's just like, you know, I'm like, but that's also a narrative I find that men use a lot is like trying to tell you who you are. But yeah, why are they so obsessed with us?
You don't have to come back to that.
We have to come back.
But there's something about that dilemma. And again, I'm bringing back in Wicked because it's fresh in my mind. I listened to the soundtrack the whole way here. But like, it's like, even there's situations, there's men in my life who maybe through my drinking, I have played a part in causing harm to them or did things I'm not proud of. And so for so long, I was like, I, them, therefore am the enemy and they're the victim. But then over time and through working it through with my therapist, it's like, no, like this person did something also harmful. And so you might have not reacted in the most helpful way by, for example, there might have been a story of somebody who put me at risk of monkeypox. And did I nickname them monkeypox in public circles for the whole summer? Yes. Was that my best work? No. But did they put my health at risk?
Yes.
Potentially expose me to monkeypox? Absolutely. And I'm like, listen, I'm not going to go there, but the stories of people with monkeypox, like when I was on the Canada's Drag Race season 2 tour. But anyway, I won't go there. But like monkeypox, and both are true in that scenario.
Yeah.
Like I made this nickname and that's not a nice thing to do.
Right.
But then that person also exposed and lied to me about this experience.
Right.
So
I think there's a level of stuff we do as people where we aren't always 100% nice, and some things are actually a bigger deal than other things. Also, like, if I go back and look at my behavior in my 20s, like, out of control, for sure. I've been the obsessed person, you know? And I think, like, but I also look back and I'm like, but I was like 15 years younger and like than the other person. And there was a manipulation element that I wasn't catching on to or able to, you know, understand. But I think it's the, like right now in my life to kind of be on the other side of it, receiving some of these messages. It's... Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. And like, I do get a little bit confused sometimes, especially when it's like, it's not something new. It's like it's a person coming back into your life kind of thing. But I think it surprises me sometimes too. I'm like, wait, they are obsessed with me? Like, I actually am like surprised sometimes, or even like, wait, they like me? Or like they think they like me? Or like,
Yeah, now I feel like it comes back to that again, like I was saying, that insecurity piece of like, wait, really? Like,
Right.
why are you so obsessed with me?
Right. Or it's like my ego's like, of course they are. But then like you're saying, like, but inside you're like, but this doesn't make me feel good. But then I'm also like, but wait, actually.
But I want it. But I'm attached to it.
Yeah.
And this need for, so it's, you're right. In some sense, it's same with social media. Like there's no way around it. Like I'd be lying if I didn't say, if a video gets like less likes, I'm not impacted.
Right.
But in real life, I'm like, oh my God, if like 75, 100 people said good job on something, would I absolutely be like overwhelmed?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like the social media, all these things distort it. And I'm trying to find a way to come to a conclusion.
Well, like and subscribe.
That's the conclusion for today's episode. If there is a man that is obsessed with you, or a woman, or a non-binary person, or any of the many gender identities that continue to evolve because we are rich and complex beings, that's what you're supposed to feel.
Oh.
You know what?
Like
yeah. You know what? If they're obsessed with you and you have communicated what you want from them and they can't reciprocate, stop.
Stop. Yeah.
Immediately stop.
Stop.
Full stop.
Full
no
stop.
in between.
They're not listening.
Let them.
Let them.
Back.
Call back.
We'll see you on the next episode. Thank you for joining us on this episode of The Glorious Mess, and stay messy.